What do all of these people have in common? Each and everyone here were all at school, living life just like it was another day. But as the school day was coming to its end, a former student came and decided to shoot up the whole school. 17 innocent lives were taken because of the violent use of a gun. This shooting brought attention to the ongoing debate about guns in the US. After the shooting, many people believe that there should be stricter gun laws, while the opposing side believe that banning guns were against the Second Amendment and that guns are used as self-defense. Unlike some people, what brought my attention to this topic was the gun suicide of my older cousin. After seeing the effects of suicide and how it affected my family, I strongly believe that gun laws should be changed. Today, I'm going to persuade you guys into why there should be stricter gun laws. You're going to hear about the problems that come with the use of guns, how we can stop these problems, and what will happen if there were more stricter gun laws. Now let's get into what the problem is when it comes to guns. For years, there's been a huge debate about gun control and problems that guns create. One reason why there should be stricter gun laws is because of the violence that guns can cause. Giffords Law Center calculated that over 36,000 Americans are killed by guns each year, averaging to 100 deaths per day. Of the 36,000 Americans killed by guns, 61% are gun suicides, showing that not only are guns dangerous to others, but dangerous to the ones holding the gun. You or someone you know could be on this list if guns aren't banned or laws aren't stricter. People who don't believe in this say that the deaths caused by guns aren't as high or comparable to other things like heart disease or cancer. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention came out with data of leading causes of deaths in the US, and it says that over 600,000 people died from cancer. While the two numbers are extremely different, guns are still a huge danger to society and can lead to innocent people losing their lives. After hearing about why guns are a problem to society, let's talk about what we can do to fix the problems that come with guns. With all of these problems that guns cause, how can we fix these problems in order to have a safer future? Sean Gregory of Time magazine wrote an article where he discusses different ways we can reduce gun violence in America. In his article, he says that one way we can reduce gun violence is to make it more difficult to purchase firearms. To show how easy it is to purchase a gun, he says it's easier to be a legal gun owner in America than it is to be a legal driver. Gregory suggests that one policy that could be effective would be that every buyer would be required to obtain a license that includes a registration of all purchases, including a training program. Research in JAMA Internal Medicine found that background checks and restrictions on certain purchases led to lower rates of gun homicides. People who don't believe in stricter gun laws say that gun restrictions don't lead to lower murder rates. But in an article written by John Schoen of CNBC, he talks about how deaths, guns decreased with states with strict gun laws. If there are less guns, then that means there are less people killing others. Now let's discuss what would happen if more strict gun laws are passed. In an article by Gabriel Frank of Today News, Craig Scott tells his story on what happened on April 20th, 1999. He was a sophomore in high school along with his sister, who was a senior. He later realized that day he was never going to see her again. Two students decided to go on a shooting rampage, killing 12 students and one teacher, injuring 24 other people. Craig came out safe, but not after witnessing the murder of his two friends, Isaiah and Matthew. After calling his parents to let him know that he was alive, the family soon found out that his sister was the first person to be shot and killed. Craig Scott was only 15 when he lost his older sister and 2 friends to guns. From that day, hundreds of school shootings have occurred due to gun laws not being changed. Because gun laws aren't as strict as they should be, hundreds of parents lost their innocent children in school shootings because of the use of guns. If gun laws were to become more strict, what would happen to society? How would it affect our country as a whole? Well, let's look at a country that actually does have strict gun laws. In Australia, semi-automatic rifles and shotguns are banned. Along with banning semi-auto rifles and shotguns, there are thorough background checks and a justifiable reason to own a gun is required. In an article by Katie Beck of BBC, she talks about the aftermath of enforcing stricter gun laws in Australia. In her article, she says that about 1/3 of the country's guns were sold back to the government and destroyed. The number of mass shootings also dropped from 11 to 1 as of 2014. Based off of Australia's results, it's easy to say that stricter gun laws decreases gun violence and that can lead to a safer country in the future. Gun control has been a big discussion throughout the years, and while some say that guns aren't to blame for gun violence, I believe that gun violence can be easily lowered if gun laws are to become more strict. After hearing about the problems guns cause, how can we stop violence and what would happen if gun laws are changed? I hope I was able to persuade you to choose the correct side. If not, more innocent children will lose their lives and families will lose their loved ones. Now come together and help make our country safe for the future. Thank you.